Hey, it's Celebrate Truth. I'm Robbie Davidson. Apollo astronaut thinks sending humans to Mars is almost ridiculous. Mars is the hottest topic in a space science world these days, with new rovers, orbiters, and landings finding out new and exciting things about the red planet with startling regularity. Multiple manned missions are already in their earliest stages, but not everyone is on board with the idea of sending humans to our most tempting planetary neighbor. In a new interview with BBC, former NASA astronaut and Apollo 8 lunar module pilot Bill Anders weighs in on the push to get mankind to Mars. And he's not exactly thrilled with the whole thing. What's the imperative? What's pushing us to go to Mars? Anders asked during the interview. I don't think the public is that interested. Along with his criticisms of ongoing manned Mars mission efforts, Anders had some particularly harsh words for the current state of NASA itself. NASA couldn't get to the moon today. They're so ossified, Anders told the BBC. NASA has turned into a jobs program. Many of the centers are mainly interested in keeping busy, and you don't see the public support, other than they get the workers their pay and their congressmen get reelected. Wow, so here we go with Anders basically talking about that NASA couldn't even get to the moon today, and he's right.
It was all recorded on these telemetry tapes. So where is this hard evidence?
I haven't seen anything that indicates the telemetry data is even in existence, and as I said, even if we had it, we don't have the machines to play it back.
But your own research has shown the telemetry data is missing.
That's right.
Could this be true? Mankind's first interplanetary exploration and the original science data is missing?
11, this is Houston, radio check, over.
If it's anywhere, it should be here at NASA's Goddard Space Center in Maryland, home to the National Space Science Data Archives.
This film you're making now, what is it? Does it have a name? I mean, do you have a name for it yet, or are you?
Calling it Did We Go?
Did we go? Okay.
Doesn't have it either. The Smithsonian doesn't have it. Johnson doesn't have it.
Right. We've been unable to track it down. I mean, we don't know where this telemetry data ended up, and we don't know what path it may have taken. So, unfortunately, I'm afraid I can't really give you much of a clue as to where this data ended up and whether it still exists or not.
NASA admitted that it had lost the original footage of man's first steps on the moon. My next guest, Aaron Rainin, started out believing the official version of history. Tell us why you have changed your mind and now become a skeptic.
I was the first to report, and you played the clip earlier tonight, that all the science data, the telemetry data, was missing. Now, Geraldo, for NASA to come out and say that all the tapes were erased, I mean, it's incredible. Geraldo, this isn't just one tape. This is reams of tape labeled Apollo 11 moon landing. Someone had to physically go and erase it. And it just, I really, in my heart, Geraldo, I want us to go. And I know all your viewers want us to go.
We're also joined in LA by Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill, Aaron's right about erasing these tapes. I mean...
No, okay, it's my turn, kids. Okay. So, what happened, these are NASA tapes, and I got lost. Stuff happens.
Okay. It's very challenging to try to prove we landed on the moon, and it shouldn't be challenging. The tape should be there. There should be plenty of evidence.
I said, hey, Buzz, could you be on the show tonight? And he's like, in the hospital, can't talk long. I asked him, did you walk on the moon? And he said, yeah. He said, yeah, I have. So I'm going to trust Buzz. Well, I could trust you.
Well, I mean, let's say you trusted your television set, really, didn't you? That's how most of us believed it.
No, I got it from Buzz.
Yeah,
I got it from Buzz.
I mean, for instance, let's think about what you believe on TV. I'm actually nowhere near this bridge. I mean, Glenn, to me, it's incredible that we can keep track of Egyptian pots from 2,000 years ago, but we lose tapes made only 40 years ago.
Well, wait a minute. There is a very good explanation.
Well, I'm just an expert on the moon landing, and what I can say, and I know you have a tape there, is I tracked down Gene Kranz, who's the flight director of Apollo 11. He admitted to me the tapes are missing.
All right, go ahead. Play Gene Kranz, please.
I haven't seen anything that indicates the telemetry data is even in existence, and as I said, even if we had it, we don't have the machines to play it back.
But your own research has shown the telemetry data is missing.
That's right.
Wow. NASA couldn't get to the moon today, nor has NASA been to the moon ever. But let's continue. Yikes. Anders isn't necessarily wrong about a couple of his points, but it's worth noting that NASA has had a continued budget struggles for some time, and the inability to secure funding for new, more exciting advancements has certainly hampered its ability to repeatedly wow the public with groundbreaking feats. In any case, manned missions to Mars are less of a question of if, and more of a question of when. Yeah, well, right, BGR. Right. How many of you maybe mention in the comments if you actually think that they're going to be going to Mars in your lifetime? How about even the moon? Last time I heard, NASA was planning to go back to the moon in the late 2020s. That's right. No problem in the 60s, 70s, but we're going to the moon in the late 2020s. In ABC, talking about the same article, despite his pivotal role in the Apollo 8 mission, Mr. Anders is critical of the way NASA has evolved, or failed to, since the 1960s. All right, let's go, blast from the past. And remember, this is the 1960s and 70s. I don't know when you were born. I don't even know how old you are. But watch this video, all right? Watch this video and picture yourself back in the 1960s and 70s.
For the first time, 3 Americans rode the Saturn V moon rocket.
Following Houston, you are go for staging, over. Roger, understand, 7. Following. We hear you loud and clear, Apollo 8. Okay, the first stage was very smooth, and this one is smoother. Apollo 8, this is Houston at 6804, your goal for LOI. Okay, Apollo 8 is go. You're riding the best bird we can find.
Lunar orbit insertion would take place on the backside of the moon. With the moon between the spacecraft and the Earth, all contact would be lost until it appeared on the other side. In mission control, they anticipated LOS, loss of signal, from Apollo 8.
We'll see you on the other side.
Now, mission control and the world could only wait. Wait for the first contact with Apollo 8 as it emerged from behind the moon.
We've got it. Apollo 8 now in lunar orbit. There's a cheer in this room. This is Apollo Control Houston, switching now to the voice of Jim Lovell.
By 60.5, good to hear your voice.
The burn was as close to perfect as possible. Later burns would circularize the orbit, and the 3 astronauts would circle the moon 10 times in 20 hours. Sunrise, sunset, every 2 hours on an alien world.
On an alien world, they would circle. They would do what no man has ever done before on the moon. That's right. Remember, that's 1960s and 70s. All right? We're now almost in 2019. No signs of going back. Because, as many of you already know, they've destroyed the technology to go back to the moon, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
So which one of you is ready to go to Mars?
This is interesting. Admitting he's not a very popular guy due to his opinions, Mr. Anders added, I think NASA's lucky to have what they've got, which is still hard in my mind to justify. The 85-year-old's former crewmate Frank Borman, who was commander of Apollo 8 mission, struck a different tone. He told the radio stations, I'm not as critical as NASA's bill is. I firmly believe that we need robust exploration of our solar system, and I think man is part of that. However, Mr. Borman drew the line at supporting SpaceX founder and entrepreneurial Elon Musk and Amazon chief Jeff Bezos, who both have space missions in the works. Mr. Borman said, "I do think there's a lot of hype about Mars. That is nonsense. Musk and Bezos, they're talking about putting colonies on Mars? That's nonsense. NASA is in the process of planning new human missions to the moon and plans to develop the technology needed to conduct a human landing on Mars in the future." So we've got basically Borman that says it's nonsense, all right? And we've got Anders that says it's nonsense. As we read here, the former NASA astronaut who notes that he's a big supporter of the unmanned Mars efforts calls manned Mars missions almost ridiculous. That's right. We've got both of them talking about manned missions to Mars as being ridiculous. All right? Anyone buying this? Anyone? Well, in other news, Uranus was slammed by an object twice the size of Earth. That's right. Here's more BS coming from NASA and space science. When it comes to, we don't understand why it's got a bizarre rotation. Oh, what could have happened? Let's think. All right, anyone ready for this one? Check this out. This is what they believe happened to Uranus. Whoa, did you see that? That's basically what they're saying now. What happened to Uranus? Anyways, if it's not two astronauts coming forward and talking about today's Mars missions and all the hype to go to Mars, obviously the moon's really not that exciting anymore. Again, they're planning late 2020s. But yeah, they want to colonize Mars and they want to get up there. You got SpaceX, you got Virgin Galactic, you got Amazon, Jeff Bezos. You've got all these people with the race to Mars. And yet you've got two former NASA astronauts, Anders being one of them. And good old Frank basically saying going to Mars is ridiculous. Colonizing Mars, even more ridiculous. It's time to wise up. Let's keep exposing the world's lies. Always. And celebrate truth. Take care, guys. Blessings.